Welcome to episode 203 of Say Like a Champ. It's your boy A-Dub.
Hey, your boy Stress. What's up, SLAC family?
What's good? We are back with another edition of SLAC on this beautiful Tuesday, and we got some sports to talk about. Definitely some different things going on that we're going to catch you guys up on. But before we do that, we want to do our normal check-in and say thank you to all the Slackers rocking with us out there. We appreciate you. We see you in the comments already. We got moms, we got pops, we got Kelly as well. So thank you all for being here, and we love your participation. And don't be afraid to, throw your opinions in the mix because we love to hear how you guys are feeling about these topics. So, Strizzy, what's good with you?
Not much, man. Chilling. Same old, different week. You know what I mean? Still trying to just pile on the social media stuff. Climate as always. What about you, fam?
Yeah, same, man. I'm just, doing my thing. It's been kind of a weird week so far, but I guess it's just because things are like slowing down and they're about to pick back up for me in like a couple weeks. So It's like there's a lull right here where I'm like, man, am I really like chilling or do I need to be on something? Am I falling behind? So that's how I'm feeling right now, just with personal life. But I got a lot of things going on next month that I'm looking forward to and getting ready for. So should be pretty cool. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and get rocking here. But again, thank you guys for the likes. We really appreciate that. And whether you're tuning in on YouTube or Facebook, we love your engagement and want to have you sharing the show. I will go ahead and bring up our topics real quick. But before we do, you hit on something I wanted to ask you about, Strizzy. So you're talking about the social media thing. How are you feeling about Threads? Like, how are we feeling about Threads so far?
It's cool. You know what I mean? They still have a lot to do. You know what I mean? I feel like it was a kind of a race, if you will, for Zuckerberg to kind of get it going. So it's still really early on. I'm sure there's still a lot of stuff he wants to do. It's actually really cool because even he himself has been really active in it. So you kind of see him kind of threading along, if you will. They don't have DMs yet. They probably never will. I think one of Twitter's biggest things is they a lot of pedophiles and stuff like that throughout Twitter. You know what I'm saying? So I think
crazy stuff in the DMs. Yeah,
exactly. So I think Zuck is trying to do his best to kind of keep those people out of it. So far, he's trying to keep it cleaner than Twitter, which I really enjoy. A little bit more kid friendly, if you will. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's a lot to come. Obviously Twitter is a little bit more grandfathered in, if you will. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
a little bit ahead, but I think with the amount of downloads and the amount of signups, what I'm saying, in just the last 12 days, something that's been out or something like that. Yeah. There's a lot to come, I think. So he'll figure it out.
Yeah, for sure. No, I feel you. Like you said, Twitter, it definitely has that kind of built in, because it was like Twitter was not quite the OG, but one of the OGs. Like it was,
exactly.
It was early on, and yeah, it definitely has like a different like wild style to it. But I think Threads is pretty cool. I was gonna see some Anthony Weston. He says, "Let's bring back MySpace or Black Planet." Yeah, see, that's going way back. And I don't know if you guys ever had like a Zanga page. It was like the other version of MySpace. Do you ever remember that? That was like way back though. That was like high school days, like the beginning of the internet.
Man, my coding skills are so much better now than they were when I was like in high school. So I'll tear up a MySpace page now.
Right. Like, man, that was a lot to learn. It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Grace, welcome to the show, Grace. She says Threads is like the first day of school right now. Everyone being nice. Don't mind it. Yeah, I feel that too. It is kind of cool though to see people like be a little bit authentic, or to just be like a little bit more real on there so far. But it is kind of like where it's like, okay, not everyone's here yet. Like not everyone's watching, so you can kind of just be whatever.
True.
But yeah, we'll see. I honestly, people are saying like it might fall off or it might not make it. It won't catch on. But if it doesn't, I'm kind of cool with that, because I'll just have my little space over there to just kind of talk my stuff and just put things out there. So I'm cool with that too if it doesn't get too watered down. Like honestly, the Instagram experience is cool, but it's like the bots are insane and just different things like that where it's like It's not the same. Like it doesn't feel like real engagement anymore. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, the US says, yeah, the music coding, like the song you had was like everything, Anthony Weston mentions Google Plus too. I can't lie, like Google Plus was supposed to like take down Facebook, and I thought it would too. Like I was like, oh, this thing is awesome, but it lasted probably not even as long as Threads has lasted already. So
for real.
But that's what's up. So I just wanted to kind of do a little bit of like a like a little current topic right now since we don't have as much sports. I was just kind of curious your thoughts on that. So
Yeah.
appreciate that. But we'll go ahead and pull up our first. We'll pull up our graphics and we'll go into the first topic of the day.
What's up next?
Oh, let's check it out, man, real quick.
Now tuned to NFL Talk.
Let's get it.
All right, NFL talk. So not too much going on, but we're about 3 weeks away from the Hall of Fame game, a month away from preseason. So that is very exciting. There'll be a lot more to come. But for right now, we got D Hop. He signed his 2-year, $26 million deal with the Titans. This was one of those players that we were kind of waiting to see where he would end up and kind of curious to see, if he was going to go to a contender, be able to make an impact. And also, I'm just curious to see, like, at this point, how productive can he be with his age and missing so much time last year? Obviously, still can snag, snag footballs and everything like that. But he wanted to get closer to that $15 million a year range that Odell Beckham Jr. got. And Odell was out of the league for a year. I think D-Hop is still more productive than Odell will be, but making a little bit less. But he can get up to $32 million if he hits all of his incentives. So, Strizzy, what are your thoughts though on this contract?
I guess for him, that's probably who was going to pay him the most. Obviously, you know what I mean. Like the Titans already really don't throw the ball, and right now they just definitely don't have the quarterback play back there to really make him super relevant. You know what I mean? I feel like they're kind of in a rebuild phase right now, right? They were kind of at the top of the AFC for a couple of years, or at least in that, not top of the AFC, but among
the conversation.
Exactly, in the conversation. You know what I mean? Like we never really pegged them to be Super Bowl favorites, but they were finishing the year with 11, 12 wins. Obviously they still run the ball heavily behind Derrick Henry. So honestly, I feel like this might hurt his legacy as a receiver a little bit. You know what I mean? Like if he can't have the productive years that we're used to seeing, I really feel like there's a really solid chance that we kind of forget about him a little bit. And you definitely don't want to be forgotten about towards the end of your career. You know what I mean? Because that's you know what I mean? Like you want to get into the Hall of Fame. He might get in because of his name, but like what else really has he done? How far down is he in all-time receiving yards, all-time receiving touchdowns, things of that nature. You know what I mean? So I don't like it at all. I don't think that's the best place he could have gone. I think there are other places he should have gone if you want to stay competitive and just take a little bit less money.
Yeah, I feel you. I do think that this was like a money play. He's like, who's going to offer me the closest to what Odell got? And I think from what we understand, it came down to the Patriots and the Titans kind of towards the end. It's like, move to the Patriots, and if you win something or go far, like, maybe that could be a different one, a different version of your legacy. But, you played for the Texans. That's not really like, NFL royalty, right? Even though you did great. Then you went to the Cardinals, but then
injury bug a little bit to both you and the quarterback, really. You know what I mean? So that doesn't
true.
But it's funny you mentioned the Patriots. I would have really loved for the Patriots to really do everything they could to have gone after him. I know like you and Marcus have spoken out a little bit more about how much you guys really like Mac Jones, and obviously a little more than I do. But I'm starting to kind of come around Mac a little bit, but not so much for his play. I just feel like Bill is kind of doing a lot to impede his growth. You know what I mean? Like he's not letting him really throw very much at all. Doesn't let him throw it downfield. He doesn't have that trust yet. You know what I mean? And I don't think Juju Smith-Schuster is that guy that's going to really be like, okay, cool,
build that up.
Yeah, okay, we got our guy now. But I think Hop definitely would have been that guy to really kind of help Mac take that step further. Also take the Patriots a little step further without having to run the ball so incredibly much. Obviously, Bill Belichick's still one of the greatest minds, but you don't have Tom Brady anymore. Like you realize how good Tom was when he won a Super Bowl his first year with, with the Bucs. So I feel like you got to get Mac some help, or otherwise next year they're probably going to be looking about replacing him again too. So, and I don't even think that's really his fault. So I would have really liked to see him play for the Patriots. I think that would have been a way better place to go.
I agree too. And like you said, that weapon was like more needed there. Anthony Weston mentions Tennessee never looks creative on offense. I agree. It's like they're not really interested in doing that. And when they drop back to pass, like the rookie that from last year, Burks, he didn't really do so great. So they're going to be all over Hopkins as the number one threat. at
Yep.
this stage in his career. We'll see how it works. Anthony says, I almost feel like AZ was a better option.
Yeah.
And that's pretty crazy. But I think, his time there, he was definitely done and wanted out.
Dude, I
But he
saw
didn't
something
really upgrade.
hilarious. I saw something hilarious. It said Mike Vrabel has more receiving touchdowns than any of the Titans receivers right now.
Dang.
Obviously not because Hop's there now, but yeah, I
Right,
think
it
Vrabel,
changed.
because Vrabel, they used him a lot as a tight end, back in his day. So he has like 10 receiving touchdowns or something like that, which is
That's
more
crazy.
than like any other receiver not named D Hop on the current roster. So I was like, that's not good. You know what I'm saying?
That's a stat they had to erase. So they're like, all right, let us go get somebody. So
for real.
We'll see how that works out though. But yeah, that we're still waiting for Cook. Like he hasn't fallen yet, and that's the other big story this week is the running back situation. Basically, there's a lot of talk about how basically the running back market is like at bottom right now.
Yeah.
A lot of guys without deals, and all of the the running backs that got franchise tagged did not get a long-term deal, and so they're each going to make around $10 million. And so, there was a few people in the media. I know we had Saquon say some things. Actually, Henry from the Titans, even though he has a contract right now, but he had some things to say about that as well, and Austin Eckler too, after going back to the Chargers. But what do you think about the running back situation right now?
Yeah, CMC just recently said something too. I think yesterday or the day before as well. It really sucks, right? It's like a double-edged sword because on the running backs end, I get it. They probably take more hits and do more damage than like any other player, any other skills player, obviously, right? They're running the ball up, they're having to block defensive ends, linebackers, as well as running the ball and they're getting hit, knocked around by these defensive linemen and linebackers, right? But in the same token, from the team standpoint, like they're also the most injured. They're also the most injury prone. Saquon has had a ton of injuries. Derrick Henry just coming back from an ACL tear. You know what I'm saying? CMC, as great as he is, because he does so much and well, blocking, running, and receiving the ball. He's had ankle injuries, shin injuries, shoulder injuries. It's one of those things that kind of sucks because they're nicking at him a lot, but. At the end of the day, like nothing's guaranteed in this league, right? It's just, but you still want to see some of these bigger guys get paid. You know what I mean? Like I kind of understand some of the smaller dudes, but like some of these franchise guys, like CMC got paid, right? He reset the market for running backs. You know what I mean? Like when he got paid, and I was actually happy that Carolina paid him because he deserved it. Like everything he had done. You look at a guy too like Derrick Henry, also deserved to get paid. Like been the leading rusher and rushing it for the last couple of years too, and just dominating. You know what I mean? So you love to see it. You would have loved to see Zeke. You know what I'm saying? Like he got paid. He got paid his too on after his rookie contract. But somebody like Saquon too, who's also very injury prone. Like I get it. You know what I mean? Josh Jacobs from the Raiders. He had a phenomenal year last year. I think most touchdowns by a running back. I think last year, and he got the franchise as well.
Yeah, no long-term deal for him either.
Yeah, exactly. So like everybody's upset, but I think the thing that's scary though is that like, what's going to happen to this? Is it going to become something where like every year they just draft running backs and then let them fall off and then draft another running back when it's time? You know what I'm saying? Because that's looking where it's going to go. You know what I mean? It's definitely looking where it's going to go.
Yeah, I agree totally. Like you said though, they're the most injury prone. They do the most work. They take the most damage. And also, they're the most replaceable. Like if you have a good running back and you have a good offensive line and a good scheme, you'll be fine. Like you step up and run the ball. It's natural. Like all running backs are taught to like hit the hole. They run the same thing. So it's more plug and play than any other position either. And it's funny that you brought up Elliott. Yeah, like because I feel like he's the one that kind of ruined it. Like when he got his money and then like the fall off so fast, like I think that made a lot of owners take notice. And so, Christian McCaffrey, he did get his payday, but right now, since the tag is like the makeup of the top 5, right? It's like the average of the top 5 salaries. I think around the league, they're going to continue to just try to keep that salary low, continue to franchise tag these guys and just be like, hey, you're just going to have to deal with it. And it is unfortunate, but, I think for them, they're still going for these long-term deals. Maybe they just need to do more 1 and 2 year deals, bet on
Yeah.
themselves, and get the bigger money in the short term while they can run the ball, because it's only going to be 4 or 5 years that you have that chance to make money.
Exactly.
Want to get into these comments a little bit. Stephanie Washington, welcome to the show. Thank you for being with us. She says, hey, y'all. Anthony Weston, he says, Bijan Robinson will be tied to the Falcons for 5 years. So who to say the Falcons won't draft another during that time? That's for sure. And then who's to say that after those 5 years, he's used up, you know, after after all those yards at Texas, you know, who knows what he'll even look like 5 years into the league.
Exactly.
And Pops, let's see what Pops would say. Running backs still have value, but teams using multiple backs, short shelf life for top-notch performance. Elliott was awesome for the first 5 years. That's for sure. Like he was. And then that's, you know, and then that's it. We think about like Todd Gurley, like Pops and I were mentioning him the other day. It's like, you know, the Rams ran him into the ground. He got one contract after his rookie deal, and that was it.
Yeah.
So it is definitely tough out there, but I wonder if the position will start to kind of not dissolve. Like there's always going to be running backs, but you know, more guys are like, why shouldn't I be a tight end? You know, why shouldn't I be a receiver? Anthony Weston talks about how, you know, third wide receivers on teams, some teams are making as much as the starting running backs, which is crazy. And the amount of yards, like, you know, I get it, but it's like the wide receivers, they rack up yards and everything like that, but how much are they actually running with the ball in their hands? Those like running backs, all of their yards are hard earned from the line of scrimmage forward. Like that's, you know, it's crazy. So they definitely have value, but they're not valued. It's pretty sad. But all right, let's continue on with our NFL talk. We don't have too much more for NFL talk, but good luck to those running backs out there for sure. One thing I did want to mention was just kind of cool is Aaron Donald. He set the record now. This is his 7th time being rated 99 in Madden. And so he broke the record with Peyton Manning. Actually, Peyton Manning had a run of 99 ratings. But I just want to say congratulations, Aaron Donald. He's definitely a beast, always has been. And I'm super glad that he was able to get that Super Bowl ring to kind of go with his legacy. So it's crazy, though. He was talking about retiring. We were like, you're not going to retire. And he's still, you know, at the top of his game, or at least as Madden sees it. So, but Strizzy, do you still mess with Madden, or how are you gonna check out this year's game?
I don't know. I used to be like heavy into Madden. I mean, like super heavy. Like it didn't matter what the year, what they changed. I was buying the latest one. But I feel like lately it just at this point I feel like Madden 2024 or 2023 or whatever, 2024 is not going to be much different than, you know, Madden 2020. You know what I'm saying? Like it just feels like they're, you know, they try to change things with the career mode a little bit. You know what I mean? But it's just kind of the same. So I haven't like played it really heavy in a really long time, but. That's all right. It's still fun to pick up every once in a while. I have Game Pass on the Xbox, so I'm usually able to get it, you know, not too long after it comes out anyway.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Yeah, I feel the same way. Like I want to get into Madden, like I really do, but I used to be super into it. Same thing every year. Get it, set up my little franchise, you know, play my games. But then it's like as soon as I fell off, and the first year that I didn't get it, then it's like I had a hard time like getting back in, you know. But yeah, I know Pop still messes with Madden, so sometimes I just try to borrow his. But one of these years, I'm gonna get me a copy again, and I'm just gonna go for it. But it'll have to be when it's like a really cool cover, I think.
Yeah, like, for sure.
Pop says Donald doesn't deserve that rating to me this year. He has declined for the 2 seasons in a row, not quite the same. Dominated by Connor Williams multiple times. Pops always likes to mention that when the Cowboys youngster did work against him. Anthony West says, how is Chris Jones not a 99? He had a better season last year than Donald. I think he definitely did, but you know, it's like that. All their ratings are the same. Like part of the reason why Donald always gets a 99 is because like his strength is 99, his this is 99, so it goes into those extra ratings too. So, but Chris Jones too. I don't even know, has he signed yet? I still think he's unsigned out there. But that reminds me, like we do need to do a kind of a roundup of what free agents are left out there.
Yeah,
we'll do a little bit more. Yeah, we'll do a little bit more prep before camp starts. Because there's so many changes that we just got to make sure we're even aware. Like Carr to the Saints, you know, Jimmy G to the Raiders. Like there's going to be some new faces, so we're going to do kind of a new faces, new places type of thing, so we can get ready for this season in the coming weeks. And And speaking of new faces or new things, the Browns unveiled they're going to wear an all-white helmet, which not too big of a deal, but I just thought it looked pretty gangster. Strizzy, your thoughts on the all-white helmet?
I actually like it. You know what I mean? It's funny. Like the Browns like dirty orange or whatever the case may be. Like it's cool. It's old school. You know what I'm saying? But the all orange helmet for some reason I just feel like the white is super clean with like just the strip going down the middle. I'm actually a fan of it. I actually really liked it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool too. And I know it's kind of silly, but I still do get excited for like new things like this.
Yeah.
New jerseys, new little color schemes. So that should be pretty cool. And I still though just have like so much trouble understanding like why the Browns like their dominant color is orange. Like, still doesn't make sense to me. But maybe we'll be able to figure that out one of these days, and we'll definitely report back over here. But for now, I think that wraps up NFL talk. Appreciate the comments on that one. Anthony West says looks like a high school helmet. It kind of does, but it's clean though. I think it's clean. I think that's the main thing for me. But that's what's up. We'll go ahead and move into our next topic. All right, NBA talk. So Summer League is officially over, and we were able to see the Cleveland Cavaliers win Summer League. They went 6-0, which is pretty cool in the tournament. And this is the first year, I believe it's the first year, where they all got championship rings for the Summer League. So, Strizzy, my question for you is like, are you down with like getting the ring for the Summer League championship?
No, like a lot of these kids ain't gonna make the team. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like for me, if I'm like one of these kids trying to make this team, like, I just want to make the team. I don't care about this ring. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it cool to have? Maybe. You know what I mean? Like, am I really bragging about a summer league championship? You know what I'm saying? Like, but for me, like, I just want to put the work in and actually make the team. I want to make that money. I want to prove that I can play in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? That's really all I want. So I mean, summer league championship. I guess if you got the money, NBA, do what you will. But you know, I feel like a trophy to go back to the organization's cool. You know what I'm saying? Summer league little trophy. But I think rings is a little too much for me.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same. Like, I feel like, which I'm not hating though. It's cool.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I mean, I definitely think it's cool for some of those guys. Though, it does feel like it's going to be kind of like a little token to bring back. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, because that might be the height of their experience. But that's awesome. Like, that's closer than I'll ever get to anything like that.
Yeah, right.
I feel like if I was in that position, I'd probably just rather be like, you cut me like a little check, like give me like a little $2,500 bonus or something. Like, you know, you could save the money for the ring and just hook me up with some cash. But no, that's pretty cool. The Cavs though did do good, but yeah, like, you know, they went 6-0, which is awesome. But it's like it's only great. 6 games. Like it's a smaller tournament, so not quite the same as like going through a whole season, you know, and winning a championship like that. So. That was just my little thoughts on it, but I was curious to see how you felt too. This was, though, one of the more successful summer leagues, probably the most watched summer league.
I was gonna say definitely one of the most competitive I've seen in a really long time. Actually, like,
yeah,
you know, they were really good. The Jazz were pretty good too. Also, you know, the Hornets weren't bad.
Yeah,
so you got to see a lot of some really good talent.
Yeah, most definitely. It shows how much talent is out there, and I think it is cool though, and I think the rings is part of them just trying to build it up more and continue to put the hype around it. So that's cool. But until next year, we will be slowing things down for the NBA. Want to welcome Unc real quick. Hello from Texas. What's good, Unc? Glad you made it back home safely for sure. Next thing up though, really for basketball, is the FIBA World Cup, and there's going to be less and less. Actually, NBA stars playing this year, but that does start next month, and it'll be kind of cool to see who's in there. But I think Luka's supposed to be playing, so I'm gonna keep an eye on that and see if he actually plays or not. I have a feeling Mark Cuban might have to try to make a few calls before that happens. But that's the next competitive basketball we'll see, and then really after that, camps don't open up until like the end of September, so it's gonna be a little bit quiet along the basketball front. Just a few moves going on, and one I wanted to talk about too was the Suns making some moves. They made a trade. They traded Campaign to the Spurs, and got a bunch of second round picks. So they're trying to
Yeah.
replenish their draft stock. And then also they were able to sign Bull, who was released earlier this offseason by the Magic. I think that's kind of a sneaky pick, especially because that gives them more size and length when they have like potentially him and Durant and Ayton maybe on the field court at the same time. Like that kind of creates like a matchup problem. But what did you think about the Suns' moves recently?
Dude, I actually love the Bol pickup. It's funny, I watched a lot of Orlando games last year. You know what I mean? Like I have no idea why, but I watched a lot of games last year. You know what I'm saying? Markelle Fultz is my dude, number one. Two, I wanted to see how the rookie was going to pan out, right? So I got to see Bol play a lot, and surprisingly, like he actually played really well for the time he got. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, like he spaced the floor really well. Like he showed, like there was so many like Bol clips on like just Instagram itself too. I think when he's in the game for too long, though, I think they start kind of using those things against him. But I think if you can use him kind of the same way like the Lakers and even the Suns use like say JaVale McGee, you know what I mean? Go grab some board, get some blocks because he's really, really long, really tall. But the difference between him is he can actually space the floor. He has a legit 3-point shot. Yeah. So I liked it. I love it. I think it's a really, really good move. It's a smart move. If they're willing to actually give him some actual time, I think he can use it, to the best of his ability. So I actually really like that move. And then I think the Suns too were talking about possibly being interested in grabbing Rondo.
Oh dang!
Yeah,
that would be wild.
Yeah, honestly, you find a point guard that kind of just gonna mesh things together. You know, what I mean, I think Rondo can come back and just automatically, probably average easily 9 to 10 dimes with that team. So. You know, you're not looking for him to score, which he's never looking to score anyway, but just kind of do the things that Rondo does. And I think the Suns actually would be legit, really, really dangerous with the amount of veterans and weapons they now have. So Suns are putting together a little squad. You know what I mean? I didn't think they're going to be able to do it, but they definitely came through.
Yeah, no, I'm very impressed. And Anthony Weston, he says, I don't see how the Suns will run offense. I kind of agree that there is an issue there because there's only one ball. But yeah, if they were to pick up a piece like Rondo or any type of like veteran point guard that can just like knows the game, can space the floor. Rondo, I can see them out there. He would be putting everybody in the right spot, and really quickly. So that would be interesting. But yeah, the Suns are doing a really great job. It's gonna be interesting to see them play this year. I'm excited. But like you said, Bol, bring him in for a few minutes and just like dump the ball down to him and run pick and rolls with him. He's going to be a problem, and it's going to be somebody that, people aren't used to dealing with on a nightly basis. So he can definitely, kind of contribute there. The last two things is really just the the Damian Lillard saga will continue, and James Harden. I feel like James Harden won't be traded until Lillard is traded because that, that's going to see what's left over and who's maybe scrambling or who's trying to still get Lillard that's not. I still am kind of in the Lillard to the Heat camp. I still think that that's his ultimate destination. But but what are you're still hearing the same things or?
Yeah, like I said, no one's in a rush. I think other teams are still trying to get involved with this. But I think at the end of the day, Lillard's either going to be with Miami or he ain't going to be with anybody, in my opinion. Because I don't think anyone's going to want to – I don't think any team's going to be willing to give up what they need to give up for Lillard for him to just bounce soon and him not want to play there. You know what I mean? So –
and that's what he's saying. They're already circulating it like, yeah, don't trade for me because that's it.
Exactly. Him and his agent have basically said, like, don't do it. It's not worth it to you. Like, I don't want to be there. So, as much as Portland says, no, we're going to do what we think is best for the organization, what's best for the organization essentially is getting Lillard to where he wants to play. You know what I mean? There's really no point in, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really see a team who's going to, like, give everything that Portland wants for Dame and then him just not want to be there, not want to play there, or not get in for, next couple of years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he just turned 32, just turned 33, something like that. So, I mean, he balled out last year just for a really crappy team. You know what I mean? Like, the team just sucked. So, like, you still see that he's definitely he can play or whatever, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, unfortunately for Dame, like, I just see him going like Carmelo Anthony route or something where it's like you might go to another contender, but the timing won't be right. Like, they're going to have to give up too much for you. Like, and like, it's just might not work out that way. So I don't know. I just think, it's too late. Like all these 3-4 years of like, oh, I'm loyal to Portland, I'm gonna be here forever. Like those were his times where he could have got out of Dodge and like gotten into a crazy situation when all those other teams were forming. It's like at this point, I don't know. You know, he might as well just ride it out. But
I feel
we'll
like
see.
I feel like Miami is the place, right? Great coaching staff. They'll figure it out once they grab them. I mean, this team literally was just in the Eastern Conference Finals and then the finals last, 2 years in a row, essentially, right? So, they still need to add some pieces because once you get them, you're losing some pieces too. We lost some pieces in free agency. Like I don't want to say it's too late for him, but it's like now. You know what I mean? Like Miami's making this trade is literally going into win now mode. So they also it kind of sucks because the Suns did their stuff early, right? So they traded for Bill early, and now they're rebuilding. Miami doesn't have that time,
right?
So I think that's what's really working against them. Is like right now they're running out of time.
Yeah, I feel you. We'll see. Anthony Weston, he's keeping his ear to the streets as well. So we'll see what he comes up with. Moms mentions this one. What about Embiid leaving? So yeah, this is interesting. I think this is just like earlier today.
Yeah.
There were some comments that came out from Joel Embiid, and he's basically saying, "Look, I want to do whatever it takes to win a championship here or somewhere else." Right. And so kind of alluding to the fact that like, hey, he doesn't have to be with the Sixers. I'd be interested to see what Pops thinks about that. But to me, I feel like if the Sixers are looking to make a change and shake things up, he's the more valuable asset than Harden at this point in their careers. But the only problem is like, who wants to play like that big man style of basketball? It's kind of fading out, right? So there might not be as big of a market for him, but he's still more valuable. So I don't know. I definitely think though it's just so crazy because like the Sixers were literally like the third best team last year record wise. Like they played really well and they, but it's like, why doesn't anyone want to be there? Like
I think part of that too is like their two best players are also known for kind of being choke artists in the playoffs. They play so well in the regular season, both of them. They're both just regular season players, and then come playoff, they kind of both just disappear, right? Harden has a great like game, one of those games where he hit like 5-6 threes and goes for 40 or whatever it was, and they win a game without Embiid. So he's good for one of those. Embiid's kind of the same way, but like when it really matters, like they've like never been out of the second round.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like Embiid's never been out. So it's like I don't know. It's just I'm with you. I think if they're gonna try to move some things around, I'd start with Embiid too. You can honestly, he's younger. You can get a lot more for him at this point than you probably could for James Harden.
Most definitely. All right, we're gonna close the book on basketball for right now. But yeah, we'll definitely be reporting on any trade and offseason things that start happening. But yeah, this next kind of stretch will be a little bit quieter. Let's actually, my bad. Before we move on, we gotta see real quick. Let me see if I can read this one. Pops chimed in. Embiid needs to shut up. He's the problem, and I would be happy if they trade him. Didn't deserve MVP. Throws everyone under the bus. So there you go. There you have it. There's Pop's take on that. I had a feeling that might be, the sentiment, but I just had to hear it from him, the man himself. So all right.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what's up. All right, moving into other sports. Do want to talk about real quick the home team, the Arizona Diamondbacks. The MLB has taken over the broadcasting duties from Bally Sports Arizona. Their parent company basically was going bankrupt, and there was an issue where they were basically like running out of money, not being able to fund checks. And so as of right now, actually tonight's game against the Atlanta Braves is the first of basically a week's worth of games that they're going to give away for free. You can do it on the MLB app or on MLB.com. You can basically just watch the Diamondbacks games for free during this interim time, and then the local people are going to be able to get it. And I think that out of towners, it's like $20 for like the rest of the season for the Diamondbacks. So it's very interesting to see. But this parent company, which is called Diamond Sports, they have several different teams around the league, and I guess it's kind of slowly moving from market to market. So we could see the MLB owning the broadcasting rights to like maybe a third of the baseball teams by the end of this year. So this will be very interesting to see how that fallout happens. But one thing that's interesting is that it's gonna be less it's gonna be more people that will have like that will be able to watch the games than before. Just because of the fact that it was like on a cable network and it was on a different channel and stuff like that. So at least in the Arizona market, more people are going to have access to the Diamondbacks games, and they're doing really well this year. So they fell off a little bit more towards the break, but still, they're doing well. So we'll see how this plays out. But it doesn't look like there's any other big company like swooping in to save the day, which some thought there would be. So we'll just see how this goes, but we'll continue to report on that as we move forward. Wanted to touch on Wimbledon real quick. Wimbledon ended over the weekend. Yeah. We have Carlos Alcaraz that took out Jokic for the men's title, which is pretty cool. Like this is his second major, I believe. Yeah. But it's looking more and more like he's going to be, the leader of the new wave of tennis players. Kind of coming in his youth, kind of came in handy, and they had to go to all 5 sets in that one. And then we also have, and I want to make sure I get her name right, Marketa Vondarosov, and she was unseeded, and she made it all the way through, and that's really awesome. So she's very excited there with her women's title, and it's pretty cool. I didn't know this until recent years, but I guess every the final Sunday of the tournament, they have like a big dinner, like a winners dinner, and they kind of bring out the winners. And then they, get dressed all fancy. So I was able to get this picture from that. So that's pretty cool. So congrats to them. Nothing too crazy, though, with Wimbledon. Still a Miss Serena for sure. This other one I want to talk about, golf. Steph Curry winning the American Century Championship this weekend. And he did have a hole-in-one during the tournament. And then he ended with an eagle on 18 to win the tournament. So pretty legit, and especially because obviously it's like an amateur, it's like a celebrity championship, and I get that. But a lot of other former athletes are participate every year, but usually not won by somebody who is active in their sport and at the top of their own sport as well. Yes. So Steph Curry definitely a big time athlete, kind of a natural athlete, and is really good at golf.
Dude, there is some of the putts that he hit you wouldn't see made by like professional golfers on the PGA. Like I was watching some of the putts he hit. One of them he had like you think he goes straight away, but he like puts it to the right and it just hangs this curve all the way around. It goes right, it sinks it. That shit is crazy. I was actually really impressed. I was like, this man's good at everything. It's crazy.
It's pretty funny too when you think about like just the reverse, right? Like how many pro golfers, I don't care if you get the best however many golfers in the world, none of them can step on the NBA court,
exactly. Not one.
But like Steph Curry, he might be able to go on the PGA tour and make the cut at a tournament, who knows? Facts. But definitely maybe not win one, but it will be interesting to see, maybe after he retires from basketball, he can get on the senior tour or something like that.
Exactly. He's going to retire probably who knows? He's a shooter, so he might be able to retire a little bit later than usual, but he might. I mean, he's got a bunch of titles already. He might retire at 37, 38. You know what I mean? Like, who knows?
Yeah. Well, he's only like 35 now, right? I think
something 35. Like that.
So yeah. So even if he plays another 4 years, in his 40s, he could, he could switch to golf. But no, that was pretty cool, and definitely his hole-in-one video was pretty fun to watch. He basically when he hit the hole, when he ran down the whole, the entire fairway. So
yeah,
that's what's up. But also speaking of golf, we got the Open this weekend. They'll be going for the Jug, there's been some changes to the course this year, which is going to make it even tougher. And it's already the toughest, pretty much the toughest course in golf, especially considering like the wind conditions and things like that sometimes hit the Open. So that'll be this weekend. There's going to be some good pairings, but we'll see who comes out with the title. I'm just hoping anybody but Rory, basically.
I know.
So
I think I'm going for Scotty this year.
That would be dope. We'll have to see if we can get Marcus's pick for that too before the weekend, just in case, because he's usually pretty dialed in on that as well. Next up, we got to talk about Messi. So Messi was unveiled to the Inter Miami fans this weekend, and basically they had an event for all season ticket holders to come to the stadium to be there for this event on Sunday. and they basically packed the house, which is crazy. Like, all those people showing up, not even just to like see a game, you know what I'm saying? Just for him to come out and get his jersey and to be introduced and wave to the crowd. You got David Beckham over there on the far right as part of that launch party, and he's just looking out and he's like, dang, like this is what he was like attempting to do some like 10 years ago, but now how big it's grown. But I definitely do have to commend him for having the vision and also for being able to pull it off, because he was kind of the pioneer for the European clubs of like to come to MLS and try to make it a valid thing. And it took longer than most thought, but it's pretty big now.
Yeah.
The crazy thing though about this too is he will make his debut, or he's planned to make his debut on Friday, in a League Cup, which is basically like MLS teams and La Liga teams. So they'll be going up against a La Liga team, which would be pretty interesting. But tickets for this game there are actually a handful of tickets listed over $100,000 for this game, which is insane. The aftermarket value has gone through the roof, and a lot of people are willing to pay top dollar. But my thing is, I'm like, $100,000, like who are you? There's people out there with money like that. We see some of these collector items that go for crazy, but it still is just astonishing to me that like somebody would pay $100,000 to see one soccer match.
That's how they're gonna pay his ridiculous contract.
For real. So he's making basically like $5 million a month. Like it's like what his contract is gonna be, and that's not including, of course, like his endorsement deals and things like that.
Yeah,
it's gonna be pretty cool. Anthony Weston is very excited.
Yeah.
He said, I'm ready to get that jersey. I just have one of their jerseys from the first season. So that's what's up, though. It's awesome that it's like that's one of your guys, and you already have been a fan of that team. Rick Ross, Pitbull. Oh, those are the people that are spending that money. I got you. Yeah, for sure. Those are the people might be dropping that money, but it's still
DJ Khaled.
Yeah. I don't even know, man. He'll be trying to get a hookup. I gotta save that. That's what's up, though. Shout out to Messi for that. And also, there are other European teams that are gearing up around the world. But Bayern Munich, I wanted to mention this one. They were playing basically a preseason game for them, and they won the game 27-0. Like, I mean, in 27 goals in 90 minutes, that's crazy. Like, I'm like, at what point, like, if I'm on the other team, I'm like, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? I'm gone. Like, I don't even want to finish this game.
Yeah. Like, for soccer too, like that's insane. It's so incredibly unheard of, right? Like 0 to 27, like you gotta pull every goalie. Like they just rotating, like that's crazy. Oh no, it's so crazy.
Like I love playing FIFA, but like unless I put the time to like, you know what I'm saying? Like unless I put the time limit on the game so high, I couldn't even do that in FIFA. Like that's like crazy numbers. Like that's like worse than video game numbers. But yeah, 3 of their players had at least a hat trick, and then they had like I think 8 or 9 different goal scorers. So they were just tearing this team up. It was basically like a glorified practice. But yeah, that's crazy.
Pro team playing against some high schoolers, dog.
Right, basically. So Stephanie Washington, though, talking about Messi, says so good for the league overall. And yeah, most definitely. Like, I mean, that's going to really raise the bar. Also, a couple of his former teammates have signed there, and they're trying to get more. But basically, they're trying to bring a contingent over, and we'll see. Maybe this will be more people moving to the MLS. But we were talking about Ronaldo too. He was basically, saying about how he's recruiting more people to the Saudi league, and they're getting paid more over there. And he was kind of throwing salt a little bit towards Messi, basically saying that the Saudi league was still better than the MLS, but the stage of the MLS and like the world like power that America is, I still think makes it like a little bit more attractive to me at least.
Yeah,
but
agreed. I think the world, like you said earlier, like the world's just been a little bit more on Messi's side right now, and I think he just needed to be don't forget about me over here. You know what I'm saying?
But it's like he should have came to the MLS, like but he wasn't. He went for the money, like he went for the bigger money.
Oh, definitely.
And Messi went for the money plus the opportunity. So
exactly.
Stephanie Washington said Vegas needs an expansion team. That would be dope. That they have like I think they're called the Vegas Lights, and it's like an under league. And I think that would be cool though if they moved up for sure, because then they can have protein for everything, and just basketball be coming soon. So
yeah.
So that's what's up. I think we're just about to the end. I did want to mention though, Fitzgerald, he's now, we talked about him being fired last week, but now there is a lawsuit that's going up against the school, and he is named specifically in that lawsuit as well. So potential for, I don't know if this will hit the stands or if this will be handled outside of court, but I would be really interested to see if he has to actually go on trial type of thing, or actually testify in this. But we talked about it last week that there would be more to come, and that there's not, wouldn't go away so easily. So we'll continue to kind of report on that as it goes. But yeah, the latest update is that the lawsuit has now been filed, and we'll see from there. So, all right. I think that's about it. Let me shut this thing down real quick. Let's switch back to our full view. And Onk says, yeah, kids need to start playing soccer. That's for sure, man. It's funny, too, because in America, though, we should be better, honestly, at soccer, because that used to be the big thing, soccer moms and soccer band, and
right.
Every kid is in soccer, but then they don't keep playing, by the time they hit junior high or whatever, it's over with. But yeah, I just think, I think soccer is going to get bigger, continue to get bigger. And America is the only country that's behind as far as that, because any other country in the world, soccer is the number one sport.
Yeah.
And in America, it's number 5 or 6. It's way down. I think 5, I guess, but still, it's we're the only ones that are kind of backwards that way. So, let's see what else. Kelly says 27 goals. I'd be begging for mercy. Exactly. I'd be like the other goalkeeper. What do you do at that point? It's not like hockey where you just pull your goalkeeper. You're probably out there just I don't know. Couldn't have been his fault though. Is it? They just had no defense at all. But still, Stephanie Washington says the LV Knights or Lights games are fun, are wild, so much fun. Yeah, I want to check one out. That'd be pretty cool. Anthony West says it's expensive to play soccer in the U.S. Every other place is cheaper. That's true. And all you need is a ball. You need one ball and 22 people can play. So that should be pretty cheap. But yeah, in the U.S., you got these traveling teams, and it kind of comes up so much. Unk asks, why is pickleball so popular in Phoenix? Pickleball is just getting popular everywhere. And I think Phoenix has caught on quicker because we have the population skews a little bit older in certain places, and I think also the recreation style that we have here. So many people from other places that come here, like snowbirds and things like that, they bring things here. And so that's why I think a lot of times we get kind of caught on to things quicker. And also the weather is so great. You could play outside for a lot of the year. Not like this weekend when it was 118, but for a lot of the year you could play outside. So I think that might be why pickleball is so popular in Phoenix. But I think pickleball it's getting bigger everywhere. I should have stuck with it. Our boy Ramsey, him and I played in the tournament a lot 6-7 years ago. He stuck with it. He's really good at it. I wish I would have kept playing because it is a lot of fun. So, but yeah, Monk, if you haven't tried it, you should try it out. I know here in the Valley though they are making a couple places where you basically play pickleball and hang out and drink and stuff like that. So, especially if they make it trendy like that, people will love it. So, but all right, I think that's pretty much it. Strizzy, did you have anything else you wanted to mention before we sign off for the week?
No, man, not that I can honestly think of. Just, keep rocking with us, every Tuesday. We definitely, things are coming, but it's going to be a little slow, for these next couple of weeks. But yeah. I'm super excited for football season, man, college and NFL. So just hang tight, man. So much more to come.
Absolutely. Yes, a lot more to come. And we'll be here with you every single week, all the way through it. It's your boys that say like a champ. And I think that will do it. I got thrown off because I said the outro wrong, but I'm supposed to say it's your boy A-Dub.
And your boy Stress.
Peace.
And you say them too.